Chiefs wrapped up minicamp with some great plays from their new quarterback, Pat Mahomes, and we're going to take a deep look at what's going on with that defense right now. Welcome back to RGR. I'm Ryan. I'm still going rogue. Thanks for joining me, and if you like what you're seeing from this video or any of the others that you caught up on, make sure and leave a subscription. Click the notification bell so you know when a new video gets posted. And also, if you like what you're seeing, give me that thumbs up, will you? That goes a long way to growing this channel and spreading the word amongst other Chiefs fans. I'd like to find more folks and grow the conversation some, which, by the way, thank you. The conversation around here has been great lately. If you have an opinion, please leave a comment on what we're talking today. And what we're talking about is a deep dive into what's going on with the defense. Some of you have said I've been a little reluctant. If you don't know me very well, I'm a longtime analyst for NFL and Chiefs specific information, a podcaster, a writer. I do draft work at Rogue Analytics, all kinds of stuff. So I'm more than happy to focus on the defense. But before we get there, we got to talk a little bit about the quarterback. Now, Coach Reid broke camp early because of weather. It was going to be over 100 degrees the day they were going to practice, and quite honestly, it was just left on the schedule was a walkthrough, and he didn't feel that was going to be a whole lot of information that really needed to be taken care of, so he decided they'd put in enough good work, and he was very happy with the level of competition and how fit everybody was in terms of their conditioning, because he did have the conditioning test scheduled. So he went ahead and broke that, and afterwards talked to the media and had some good things to say about Pat Mahomes, and specifically that he's progressing the way he wanted, and that Patrick is doing the things that he needed to do. He's handling the offense. In particular, he's getting the verbiage out. We all know that's something that's really challenging Andy Reid's offense, and he made a special comment that he's getting that done. And Reid said that about 50% of the time he's able to get up to the line of scrimmage, take a look at the defense, and still make an adjustment, make an audible based on what he's seeing. That's a great sign from a guy who's only played 4 quarters of football to this point. In addition, Bob Sutton likes to disguise his defense, and Reid said that Sutton has not held back during this minicamp and OTA season, the preseason, which is now officially concluded. So it's a good sign that he's seeing more of what he's going to see when it comes time for the regular season to begin. Don't put a whole lot into preseason. We know we've seen some things that have been really great, and they don't really come to fruition later on, but it's a good thing that he's spreading the ball around. He's trying to get all of his receivers involved, and he has quite a plethora of targets, so he really should be doing that. And it appears that not only are some of his guys back and healthy, but that he's developing this chemistry back and forth with Sammy Watkins, and that's going to be a nice pickup. Together with all the other weapons, he's going to have his options open, and the team has really bought into the concept that they can't cover everyone. So go ahead and try to do what you can do. Now, the one thing that hasn't gone terribly well, I guess it's all right anyway, but there's been a few interceptions, and we've talked about that on the podcast quite a bit, and if you're not subscribed to that, it's in the show notes. Check that out as well. But that's going to come with this quarterback, a guy that takes chances, a guy that's young, that's still learning to read in the NFL. He's going to throw some picks. That can and won't protect him from making mistakes, and it's going to happen. But it's not prevalent. He's not getting a ton of those. He's getting a few passes tipped at the line of scrimmage as well. That's reports out of camp. So it's got to be cleaned up, but he's going to get there. And we're going to talk about who's getting those interceptions here in a little bit. As we switch over to the defense, I know you guys are clamoring for the defense, and I'm just going to go level by level. And first and foremost, they signed their last draft pick, Derrick Nnadi, the defensive nose guard, tackle, 3-tech, whatever you want to call him. He's in camp. He's signed. Everything's done. So nuts and bolts and money is pretty much taken care of at this point. And what it lets you do is concentrate on, as a young guy, learning the defense, but also, as Bob Sutton needs to go through, learning how you're going to run those packages. And I like what Nnadi brings because he's there to be a run stopper. That's what he does. He's not much of a pass rusher like the other guy who can play nose tackle. We'll talk about him in a second. But what you get is this ability to go with this big, nasty front. And that includes Nnadi, but more specifically, Allen Bailey, who's just a blue-collar guy that doesn't get enough credit, who's out there doing work as well. He, with Nnadi, and then Jarvis Jenkins, I think, is going to be the other big body that's going to be in there. And you can get a nice big push, go large with that group, and be big and nasty. You can come back And I think Xavier Williams is going to start at nose tackle. He's got the experience over Nnadi, and he can do a bit of both. Experienced nose guy can take on some double teams, but he's a penetrator as well. And so when you get into the 2 tackle sets with the 4 outside linebackers, I'm expecting to see a lot of Williams and Jones together, because Jones is clearly not a 2-gap guy. He is best when he's attacking a gap and getting into the quarterback's face. And Williams can do that as well. And what we heard out of camp, minicamp that is that Williams is kind of tutoring Jones quite a bit, telling him how he can use his body to his advantage, use it better. And those two coming together and getting some synergy, I think, is going to be a big plus. Now, when you look at the linebackers, a lot of stuff going on there. We'll get to that here, but if you have a comment, what do you want to see from the defensive line? Hit down there and start the conversation. Throw your opinion out and let's have a chat about it. Also, spread the word a little bit. We want to get this conversation a little bit bigger, so appreciate your help in doing that. Now, with the linebackers, all kinds of change. Dee Ford is quote-unquote going to be available come training camp, but that's really undefined. There were some mixed messages that came out as camp shut down, and some folks are trying to say that he was fully recovered and all that. He's still only done individual drills to this point in the offseason. It's kind of a sign. Andy said that he is going to continue and to be quote-unquote available, but there was no mention of him being full go. So I think it's still a very big question mark about whether Dee Ford's going to be ready to go come training camp. In the meantime, the first guy up to get his reps appears to be Tano Passanio, who is working on the sidelines at practice quite a bit with Justin Houston. He's working on his footwork. Houston is mentoring quite a bit. There's some film out there, I think, from BJ Kissel about what he's doing and to teach footwork to Breeland Speaks, who's going to be the next guy up. But you can see the progression that Tano Passanio has already made from last season. And that's due to the oversight and the tutelage, I think, from Houston. So you get those 2 big guys, heavier guys as well, in Speaks and Tano, and you have options to move Justin Houston around, because Justin Houston can play on either side. Dee Ford's really better at where Houston usually plays, on the left side of the defense. And Tano Passanio can play on both sides, did in college. Breeland Speaks can play on both sides, he did in college. So it gives you an opportunity to put Dee Ford in his best position when he's back, and in the meantime, have guys that can flip-flop all over the field. If you can keep defenses moving around to keep offenses on their toes, it just helps the secondary. And as far as the inside linebackers go, it sounds like Hitchens and Ragland are really, really working well together, spending time off the field. Reggie's dropped some weight. Looks like he's looking to be more athletic, better in coverage, and took a lot of onus on himself about taking responsibility for being the guy against Tennessee who didn't get everybody lined up. Reggie Ragland's looking to be a leader on this defense, along with Eric Berry and Justin Houston. I think that's great. A player that I followed for a long time, and I think he really has the makings to be the next star in the middle of this defense. And he takes his role in setting that defense up, putting guys in the right positions very, very seriously, and that's great for this team. Akimi Eligwe's back there. He's going to still get some time, and it's going to be good. The last linebacker of note is Dorian O'Daniel, who seems to be in that dime role, starting to get some reps with the ones. It looks like Sorensen is playing more in the back at safety itself, so this really is Dorian O'Daniel's spot to be that third nickel dime safety guy that can play a little bit in between. I'm looking forward to seeing him in training camp. He's a guy that's got a lot of ability and quite a bit of opportunity to play a significant role. The DBs are very interesting, and they finished camp strong, minicamp that is. The 2 safeties got interceptions against Patrick Mahomes in practice, and those were Eric Murray and Armani Watts, the rookie. And those 2 are the guys that I think are really battling it out to be that other deep type safety that plays with Eric Berry. I'm not convinced Daniel Sorensen can do that. We've talked about that on here before, as well as the podcast. Sorensen is practicing back there as one of those other safeties, but I just don't think that's what he's adapted to for his skill set. So I expect either Murray or Watts to probably win that starting job. There are some other younger guys back there that have a chance. In particular, of the DB group, I think the kids from Oklahoma State are the guys that I'm really watching. Jordan Stearns has made some noise. He's had a few interceptions of Mahomes this off-season, preseason period during OTAs and minicamp. A guy that's lower on the roster but has the ability to push, and maybe somebody that allows them to sever ties with Daniel Sorensen. The other is Ashton Lampkin, who's got a lot of length and a lot of aggression. loose technique, needed a year to get under his belt, probably still needs more, but is a guy that, because the top three in David Amerson, Steven Nelson, and Kendall Fuller are pretty set at the corner group, unless there's an injury, those will be your top three no matter what. Beyond that, it gets into a guy like Lampkin could have a shot. A guy like Reeser could have a shot. Guys that have been here before, as well as the younger guys in Arian Springs and Tremont Smith, who's getting a lot of punt return looks. And I think that's probably his biggest strength. But he can play some defense too. Very aggressive guy, loves to play man, a whole lot of man, which I think is what Bob wants to get back to. Whether he actually does and presses or not, that's a whole other discussion we'll have to have another day. But Bob should and will want to play man, and Smith gives him that option. I'm very excited for what they're going to do. I appreciate you sticking with me. I'm working on some of the production stuff around here, new music and that kind of thing, so stick with us. Make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next time.